Imagine a place that has infinite renewable clean energy, that has a demographic bonus, a young population that is hungry to work and motivated, and where the soil is so fertile that if you drop some seeds, any plant will basically grow. And yet, this place has an incredible lack of opportunities. People are leaving the country, and it's stuck. It's stuck in the past in a place where it's basically dependent on rain. The GDP is like more than 50% dependent on rain. The biggest export is soy and cattle. And it has never really been reaching industrialization. And many of the young people are frustrated, earning less than minimum salary when they enter in a job. That is $300 a month. And so
I was one of them that I didn't see a future of myself in my own country. I had to go away for many years until one day I just went back home and I met this gentleman. He came in Paraguay, 2018. You see the first picture there. That's when we started running boot camps in Paraguay. His first boot camp in Paraguay, when he went in the middle of nowhere in Paraguay, in the rainforest, to teach indigenous girls how to program. That's when he realized that it was the greatest and best, brighter students he ever had, and he realized that programming is not an academic skill. So that's when he asked me, would you like to start opening Penguin Academy in Paraguay, and let's start teaching everyone how to program. So that's how we did it. 2019, end of January of 2019, we have our first bootcamp. As you can see there, it was a very minimum, very little space. We only had capacity for around 26 people, but when we opened registration, more than 300 people applied for it. So we were very much astonished of how much people really needed some training like this. So the bootcamp is a 2-week bootcamp where we teach them the basic of programming. And it's so intense that people usually cry in the second or third day. So we consider many times too, if you've ever been in hospitality, a crying room, we many times thought about having one of those. But 2 weeks is so intense, and we realized that people wanted more also back then. So we started doing workshops, we started doing talks here and talks there. And by the end of that year, 2019, we have more than 2,000 people going through our programs. Yes, awesome.
And all the activities we do is very different from a traditional school. We entirely focus around using coding as a school of thought. So what is really at the core here is that people start to think, that they realize they don't need a teacher, they don't need a university program. Everything they really need is the internet and their own motivation to search, to learn, and then they can achieve anything they want. So the last 3 days of this 2-week program is a hackathon where people end up standing on a stage exactly like here, people that come from far away that never in their life stood on a stage, and they're having 7 minutes to present the code they wrote and the product they created. No PowerPoints, no nothing, but just what they made in these 3 days after learning programming for 2 weeks. And it's incredible. Not only the audience is amazed, but they themselves redefine the potential they have inside of them, and for the first time they feel, right, that they can achieve basically anything. But in 2020, we had to stop. COVID started, and the government didn't allow us to continue. And not only the restrictions actually ended it, but also the fact that we ran out of money. Education is a horrible business model, especially if you do it for free. And we basically poured all our money into it, hope that we will somehow be able to make a business out of this, or that we would find, some of the government entities sponsoring us, multilateral organizations sponsoring this, but they came to us and asked us to change the core of our program. It was 2 weeks, it was changing the character of the people, and they were like, no, spend it over 1 year, do 1 day a month, and then it's better. We're like, no, we don't want to change it like this, that's not the part of it. So we basically were stopping the program and had around $500,000 to repay in debt until we found the solution. Because we saw already that so many people went through this program, changed their lives, and we wanted to get back to it. We just wanted to make it in a more sustainable way. And in that moment, we learned a lot about the energy. Paraguay has an incredible surplus of energy. It has Itaipu, which has 14 gigawatts of installed capacity, of which Paraguay owns half of it, and it uses around 10 to 20% each year inside the country. The rest of it is exported to Brazil at cost for 50 years. So if you export a lot of energy, you don't really ever grow your economy domestically. You don't ever attract investment. You don't ever create jobs, and you simply do not create opportunities for the people. And in that moment, we worked a lot. We trained a lot of the engineers from Itaipu trying to make back that money. And they told us all about these stories, you know. And the president of Itaipu shared with us a story. He said, I believe that there will only be peace in Paraguay if the water that runs down the Paraná River is used for the benefit of the Paraguayan people. And so I came across this article in The Guardian that said, should Paraguay invest its energy wealth in Bitcoin mining or fighting poverty? And I was like, why is that an or? Why couldn't that be an and? Because I was really looking for a way to use the energy, but I was looking to hydrogen, realizing that's not really a thing. And in that moment, I didn't trust Bitcoin. I knew it, and I thought it's a scam. I was like, if that would work, the banks would have killed it long ago. But eventually, this article made me look into it, and then through, you know, I'm a programmer, so through programming and the technical aspects of it, I realized, oh, wow, this is actually real. And we decided to go into Bitcoin mining in order to finance the academy and go back to open the programs that we designed.
It was the end of 2021. I was more pregnant than I am right now, 8 months pregnant back then. And we needed to start the boot camps again. It was time to come back, and we came stronger than ever. We came with, we started that year, we have more than 14 boot camps all across Paraguay, in Asunción, that is the capital, in Hernandarias. We started seeing how much the people wanted more than only those 2-week boot camps. So we started to iterate. We started to looking for, like, what can we do after the boot camps? So we tried many programs. We started iterating over and over again until we got to CoPro, that is right now running in Asunción. People is looking right now in the hi boys and girls. So CoPro it came out from all of it. It's an 8-month program where we train. We still have the boot camps. We have 2 days before the boot camp start, where we teach the people that it's the first time that they use the computer. It's like introductions to it, how to turn on, how to copy, how to paste. Then they go to the 2-month boot camp, to 2 weeks boot camp. And then after that, it's a 6-month where they learn the basic of how to program. And then they choose a specialization that is needed, that data science or web development. Right now, these are our numbers. We have 10,000 applicants to our programs right now. And I think our crown jewel is that 2 years ago, we made an only women bootcamp, where we have more than 800 women in Paraguay that sign up for it. This is a major thing for an environment that is mainly men, right? So 800 women that they want to go and they say, I want a program, is a very big thing, especially for Paraguay. We have more than 3,000 graduates in our program since 2019, and 85% of our graduates from CoPro are already in jobs. So, yes, very awesome. So we have 128 students every 3 months that are going through cohorts, and they are just rocking it. They are awesome people, and we have a job talent placement team that is helping them throughout their careers. We not only help them how to be awesome programmers, we also give them the tools to be awesome human beings, excellent leaders, and incredible co-workers.
And so all of this is essentially at the core financed by Bitcoin and made possible by Bitcoin. That we did not have to change the curriculum to fit someone else's agenda, but that we're doing that out of our own strength and according to our own rules, and that we're able to do this iteration over the program according to what we believe is possible, that we can get out of people that need to know nothing else but reading and writing in a very remote part of the world. So for the ones that do not know what is Bitcoin mining basically requires a lot of energy. It requires computers, and then we run them. And this way we generate hash rate, which is basically what secures the Bitcoin network. And we're having today 4.4 exahash. That's 4.4 quadrillion calculations per second or something like that we have run, that we are running down there. And this is thanks to a 100 megawatt power purchase agreement. So we signed that 3 years ago. We went to the government, we said, hey guys, you know the school, we want to use the energy, and give us the biggest power purchase agreement the country has ever signed. And the government said, yes, here is a token of trust. And then we got that, and then we, of course, also had to build a data center. So in 18 months, we went from zero, not knowing anything about engineering, infrastructure, substations, power transformers, and now hosting more than 20,000 computers on site. And some of the team here has been there. That's how we ended up coming up here and telling that story. And if any one of you wants to come visit us in Paraguay, wants to see one of the most advanced cooling technologies around the world, some of these data centers are also ready for AI. There's no market for AI down there, but it's ready for it. So if you want to see some real Bitcoin mining, please come down to Paraguay. We're very happy to host you. And yeah, and then out of all of this, we were able to partner with amazing companies. So we have partners like Tether, METH, AXA, which are joint venture partners, are hosting partners that bring their computers to us. We take care of these computers. In some cases, we invest together and also realize some of the Bitcoin. And then $1.5 for each megawatt hour is what goes into the academy. And that way we have, until today, I think invested more than $1.5 million into the education. And it's sustainable, right? We're going to do that. Currently working on towards growing this. So we have finished last year the build out of Paraguay. And right now we're working on 3 more countries, Bolivia, Brazil, Argentina, and actually many more countries as well. We had some governor coming the other day to Paraguay to see the school, to see the data center, and to figure out, okay, what can we do with our energy? Can we do something like this? Could you guys bring the academy here? And this is the things that we want to do going forward, right? Our big goal is to grow the concept, to transform energy into human potential in more communities. The concept, essentially, right, is that we look for places, and we call this the penguin flywheel. We look for places with huge amounts of energy. Then the idea is to use the energy, in this case in Paraguay, to generate profits. That is where we use the Bitcoin. Then we reinvest parts of these profits into education, creating the talent, and by that creating a platform locally that grows and grows of more talent, allowing us to attract more different kind of businesses, advance the technological startups, ecosystem, and ultimately use more of the energy of the resource locally.
We have many, many different stories of our participants that came to our program, but we would like you to meet Jose, and he would tell his story himself.
Soy José Luis Toledo Franco, tengo 19 años. Actualmente vivo en Ibané. De chico yo soñaba con comprar los terrenos de al lado de mi casa. Un terreno iba a ser para mi helicóptero, el otro terreno iba a ser para mi mamá, el otro para mi hermana y así. Estuve en bachiller en ciencias sociales, nunca tuve contacto con la tecnología. No tenía contacto con la tecnología en el sentido de que no tenía una computadora, nunca usé una computadora. Al terminar el colegio no tenía básicamente ninguna meta en específico y ahí entonces llegó la oportunidad de GoPro. Yo no sabía qué era Bootcamp, yo no sabía qué era Hackathon, yo no sabía ninguno de esos conceptos. Entonces todo fue muy nuevo para mí. Al lado mío había alguien que tenía una PC y que él armó su PC ahí para poder usar. Y yo, ay, que no sé ni enchufar la compu y una PC armó al lado mío. En un momento llegué a pensar que no estaba avanzando, que todos estaban en universidades o lo que sea y yo ahí estancado. Entonces fui armando ahí mi grupo. Creo que no iba a poder terminar incluso el programa si es que no tenía un grupo de apoyo. Terminó la hackathon y yo me fui junto a mi mamá en el panel. Estábamos en la plaza y eran como las 6 de la tarde y en ese momento me llega un correo avisándome que estaba seleccionada en Penguin Infra. Este trabajo es el comienzo de algo muy grande, yo creo. Mi mensaje para alguien que cree que está lejos de alcanzar sus sueños es que el sueño no es un camino recto. Puedes irte y venir, retroceder y no está mal. Aunque estés retrocediendo por el camino, sí o sí vas a avanzar en algún momento.
And as a final thought, I would like to ask you, which resources do you have in your community that you can use in order to transform them into human potential? Thank you so much.
Thank you.